Happy 5th of July, everybody. Everybody in the U.S., a long 3-day weekend for you. Welcome to the show, episode number 598. No day off for me. I work for myself, but I love what I do, so it does not matter. I'm glad you are here on the Let There Be Talk podcast, brought to you by my podcast network, cactusradionetwork.com, for all your podcast needs. Dark Fonzie, The Grail, At Home with Byron Katie, and Let There Be Talk. Let's get into the guest today. Let's see who's here. It is a comedian today. Can you believe it? I know it is rare once in a while. I do love to sit down and talk to friends that I've known or met in the business. Today is one of my good friends, Mr. Mike Vinn. Great human. And I will tell you something right now. Show me a successful comedian, and I'll tell you one thing that is for sure about that comedian. A lot of people helped them on the way up. And now if they choose to recognize that, it's up to them and really shows what kind of person they are. But I'll tell you this right now. Where I have gotten in my career so far is because of a lot of great people that have helped me on the way up. And one of those people are Mr. Mike Vinn and the La Jolla Comedy Store. Now, Mike was in the military, dreamed of doing two things in his life, joining the military and doing stand-up comedy. And he has achieved both those goals. And I got to tell you, this guy's story is great. He was in the military, got out, was selling furniture, trying to figure out how to do stand-up comedy, landed a door guy job at the La Jolla Comedy Store, worked his way up to assistant manager at the same time doing spots nonstop, and finally started headlining in there and going out on tour with all kinds of great comedians. And he is a hard worker and a great, great human. He tells some great stories about the La Jolla Comedy Store also, like some great Cheech and Chong stories and great stories on the history of the building. So it was amazing to sit down and talk to Mike. And I hadn't seen him because of COVID in over a year and a half, but I would always see him like about 4 times a year. I would do his Toys for Tots show, and then I would headline a lot down at the La Jolla Comedy Store. So I missed him big time, and it was great to sit down and just shoot the shit with him. The La Jolla Comedy Store is back open, full on, full capacity, rocking it. They've been open, I think, for about 3 weeks now and just kicking ass. So get tickets if you're down in the San Diego area and show your support for the La Jolla Comedy Store. Without this club, it would have taken me years to figure out stand-up, because I would go down there and just away from the industry and fail. I mean, all the time, but it gave me a place it was like a safe haven where I could fail and not worry about people seeing me and going, this guy's terrible, and then never have you back. So thank you so much, La Jolla Comedy Store and Mike Vinn, for just being a supportive friend and a great comedian. Patreon is happening. I'm going to be doing a Zoom Fest today. If you are a member of my patreon.com/Dean Del Rey, I do a Zoom Fest every week where I have all the fans on and we talk about all kinds of stuff. Comedy, music, films, life, everything. Zoom Fest, join me. Patreon.com/Dean Del Rey. Join up. We got 2 new Patreoners right now, Frank George and Casimir's Coachin'. All right, there you go. Patreon, thank you. 108 bonus episodes right there. Here's some tour dates. I need you guys to come out. I really want to fill these rooms up. Cleveland this week, this Friday night. I am at the Winchester, one night only. Tickets at DeanDelRey.com. Fort Worth, Texas, next Friday night at the 81 Club at Billy Bob's with my good friend Jay Buchanan from the Rival Sons. We will be performing. I'll do stand-up, he will do rock and roll, and we'll have an excellent night. Sacramento Punchline, the end of the month, July 29, 30, 31. I'm doing 5 shows there headlining. Get your tickets now, DeanDelRey.com. Come on, let's sell these out. Get your butts in the seats. August 13th, Foxwoods in Connecticut with Bill Burr. September 29 and 30, St. Louis with Bill Burr. October 1st, Red Rocks with Bill Burr. October 2nd, Minneapolis with Bill Burr. October 14th, 15th, 16th, I'm doing Atlanta with Burr. And November 6th and 7th, San Jose. A lot of tour dates happening on the Dust Off the Rust tour. I'll tell you, one thing that really helps me when I'm traveling, I use a lot of, unsecured Wi-Fi. And I don't want my computer hacked. There's nothing worse than people going in and stealing your credit card info or anything that you're looking at, or stealing your stuff, watching where you're surfing. Yeah, that's how you get all these damn pop-up ads, and I can't stand it. So I've been using NordVPN, and this thing is incredible. You know what a VPN is? It's a virtual private network. Basically, you can just kind of surf around without people knowing where the hell you're at on the internet, And I'm telling you, this is vital. I use dumb airport Wi-Fis and hotels, and you just jump on any Wi-Fi. You don't even care. Nobody cares about anything. They're like, oh, yeah, I just need that Wi-Fi. They don't even worry about somebody just, hacking into your stuff because you're just at the airport bored and you want to watch Magnum P.I., So I've been using this, NordVPN.com. Now, listen, you're going to get a 2-year plan plus a bonus gift. This is incredible. And there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So there's no risk here. I'm telling you, do this. Uh-oh. There goes the sirens right there. Woo! You hear what that is? That's somebody that broke into your computer because you didn't have NordVPN. Go to NordVPN.com/Delray, DELRAY. Use the code Delray. Get 2-year plan plus a bonus gift with a huge discount. NordVPN.com/Delray. I've been using this, and I'm telling you, it's a peace of mind. Like I said, maybe you're traveling and you're somewhere where there's like censored websites that you can't go to. Like if you're in China, you can't watch YouTube. Can you imagine the misery of not being able to watch YouTube? I watch it all day. With the NordVPN, you could watch YouTube, anything, any censored websites you can watch. This is a no-brainer. Go to NordVPN.com/Delray. Do it. I'm telling you, I use this, and I will not ever stop using it. It's a savior. All right, let's get into it. Happy 5th of July. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Maybe you blew off a couple fingers. Maybe you lit some of those black snakes that melted into your driveway, and your dad came out and whipped your ass for staining the driveway with the black snakes. Maybe you had some Roman candles lit. Maybe you had that, huh? Let's get into it. Episode number 598. Here it is, Mr. Mike Vinn. Hey, here we are. Another episode of Let There Be Talk. This is a great guest today, an old friend of mine from San Diego, California, and some people tuning in would know him from the La Jolla Comedy Store, Mr. Mike Vinn. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
This is fun.
I haven't seen you in
pre-pandemic.
Yeah, I was supposed to headline there in, I guess it was April.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
Then it all happened.
Yeah.
And you're going to come back again for my Toys for Tots, like you always do.
Yeah.
And then,
Just
Everything got canceled.
unreal, man. Unreal. Now, I've known you for how long? You been at the La Jolla Comedy Store?
14 years, 13 years, something like that.
So I've known you 11 years.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
crazy.
A decade of Dean.
Yeah. Yeah. That was really my, other than Jay Davis asked me to feature for him about 6 months in doing comedy in Arizona for a NASCAR event. So, hey, I got hired to do this NASCAR event. They want me to headline. You got 20 minutes? I'm like, oh, yeah.
No.
Holy shit, no. You just, after you get past your 8 minutes you have, you're freaking out like, oh, my God.
You're mediocre 8.
Oh, yeah, and you still got years to go in your 20 minutes. But I got through it somehow. But really, the first taste of road would be the La Jolla Comedy Store. And, starting at the store, I often talk about the mystique of these comics would come back then on Sundays.
Yep.
And open mic was both Sunday and Monday at the Hollywood store. And they'd pull up in the lot. It was almost like a ritual. Whoever headlined there all weekend would pull up in the lot. And they'd get out and we just did La Jolla. And you'd be like, whoa, La Jolla, know?
What's that?
You heard about the condo.
Magical land.
Yeah, it's on the beach. The condo's on the beach. And it's like the audiences are crushing. And then I finally went there, I guess, about a year in. And it was, I never forgot it, And so I meet all you guys down there. And been doing it ever since. How do you land there? Because you were in the Marines?
Yeah, I was in the Marine Corps. I was stationed in Camp Pendleton. And when I got out, I chose San Diego over Los Angeles. And then I was like, all right, I want to do stand-up, which is weird to choose San Diego to start doing stand-up. But I did. And the La Jolla store, their open mic was my first ever time on stage. And I just, worked my way up through the system down there and get spots up in Los Angeles, and so that's the skinny of how it went.
Well, when you're in the Marines, what makes you want to do comedy? Are you watching it while you're on the base? What's this about?
No, when I was a kid, I wanted to do stand-up. There's only 2 things I ever wanted to do in life. One was be in the military, the other one was be a comic.
Yeah.
And so I did the military, and then that's why when I got out, I was like, what else am I going to do? And I was like, I always wanted to be a stand-up comedian, so let's try it. Like, I watched Howie Mandel when I was like 8. I snuck downstairs and turned on the TV when I was supposed to be asleep. And Howie Mandel's special was on. And I watched it, and I thought it was great. And, I was hooked ever since.
What was the obsession with being in the military? Was it like Rambo or movies or TV, or are you a military family?
My uncles and stuff were all like Army and Air Force and things of that nature. And my biological father was in the Navy. So there's a lot of military in my family. I am second generation American. So my grandparents weren't in. They came from Europe. And, but all my uncles and stuff were in. So I always wanted to, I guess, fill that legacy. Plus Top Gun.
Oh, yeah.
Also really helped with that.
Oh, yeah.
So,
you're dangerous.
I'm dangerous.
That's my favorite line on the film. You're dangerous.
That's right. I am dangerous.
Goddamn, Top Gun's good. Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Underrated. People shit.
Really? Underrated?
Well, I think people knock him and kind of, clown on him, of course, of, whatever, the Scientology, the Oprah stuff, all that stuff. But, Tom Cruise has been entertaining me my whole life. Risky Business, Top Gun.
All the right moves.
Outsiders.
Yeah.
This guy has done a army of films. I don't necessarily think he's underrated. I think that I'm not quite sure how you would look at him in an actor world. Because, if you're looking at Sean Penn, who's a genius, or Josh Brolin, these kind of guys, the dude that played Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, these kind of crazy.
Sam Rockwell.
Oh, these actors.
Super talented. Well, the thing with Tom Cruise is after a while he found his niche with the Mission Impossibles and all those. So he just kept doing that. Because I mean, why wouldn't you? You're getting $60 million a film. You bust out 10 films.
How about Minority Report?
Right?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Great one. We're doing that shit right now. Pinch and zoom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You think about it? Like, here he is, right here. You go in this hole. He's doing the pinch and zoom shit. You're like, wow.
See that now? There's my question: is were they working on this technology beforehand, trying to figure it out, or did they just have the idea for the movie, and then scientists and the tech people were like, maybe we should try and mimic that. Let's figure out how to do that.
Ah, man, that's a good question because we're still waiting for flying cars. You know, so not really sure. But that pinch and zoom thing was so cool to see. And now that's how, I mean, I do it so much that when I got a magazine and I can't really see it that good, I find myself pinching and zooming the magazine like on an airplane. I'm like, what am I doing? What an idiot.
You ever like double tap a Facebook picture and realize you're not on Instagram?
Yeah. Like, I like that. Oh, what the fuck? It's so robotic, you know?
Yeah.
So military, and that was the Navy. What made you pick the Marines?
The Marines are the baddest motherfuckers on the planet.
Yeah, really are.
You know, if you're going to do it, you better do it right.
Yeah.
So.
Green Beret shit's nuts.
Yeah, they are nuts. Any special forces is nuts.
Yeah, the SEALs.
So
what's the Navy's the SEALs, but what's the Air Force special ones?
It's like a search and rescue thing, I think. They just
fucking great.
I forget the name of them.
And then the Army's the Rangers.
There's Rangers and Green Beret in the Army.
Right.
The Marine Corps has Marine Corps has a recon and scout snipers.
Oh, so the Green Beret's not Marines.
No.
Oh wow. I was
Marine is recon.
Wow.
And also in the Marine Corps, you can go Navy SEALs.
How long were you in the Marines?
A little over 4 years. I was in when 9/11 happened.
Oh wow.
So that was a crazy time.
Right. And are you from San Diego?
No, I grew up in Chicago.
Oh, that's right. I knew that.
I'm a Southside Chicago boy.
Yeah, cool, man. I like Chicago a lot. It's interesting that you didn't go back. You love San Diego that much because of the weather and shit?
Yeah. I hate winter.
Yeah.
That snow, that cold is brutal.
Yeah.
When it's like 30 below. We used to get, we didn't get snow days as much as we got it's too fucking cold to step out of the house days. We didn't have to go to school.
Yeah.
So with the wind chill, it's like negative 60 sometimes. And they're like, all right, shut it down.
Yeah, it's like the fuck that holiday.
Yeah.
Jesus. Were you seeing Chicago, comedy in Chicago, or were you starting to see live comedy in San Diego only?
San Diego only. My first live comedy show was like about 3 weeks before I started doing it.
Wow. Who was it?
So, as Mencia.
Oh, yeah.
It was he was stealing jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Brad Williams was opening, Trevino was featuring, and Mencia was headlining. I didn't know. Nobody knew any better. Nobody knew he was stealing jokes.
Right. I didn't even know anything about that world until I got into comedy. And perfect example, that's how people work forever because audiences don't know.
No.
You know, it's...
his audience didn't care.
I remember seeing comedy. I was so obsessed with it growing up. I'd go live all the time. And there was, pre being a comedian, you just couldn't believe what it was like to see a pro, like a Kinnison. I saw Chris Rock and Seinfeld a lot.
Wow.
I was really into Seinfeld. I'd go see him all over. And
were you living in New York at the time? Or
no, I was in the Bay Area.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so he would play Circle Star Theater, this weird place with a round turning stage. I'd go up to Reno, Tahoe, Lake Tahoe. I'd see him wherever. I would love Seinfeld. It was like, you know, back when you're working construction, you get off work, you turn on Seinfeld, laugh, and go to sleep.
Yep.
And then Chris Rock hit, and I was just like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, I used to listen to a bunch of like albums
Right.
and watch, specials on TV, but I'd never seen anything live until, I got out of the Marine Corps. Like I remember going to the theater to watch Kings of Comedy.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. Yeah,
that was
and Martin's special was at the movie theater. Remember that?
Yeah. So I remember going doing that stuff, but I didn't know that there was a comedy club in San Diego.
Oh, which one did you go to?
The La Jolla Comedy Store. That was the only one in San Diego. So when it was time for me to start doing it, that was the only game in town at that time.
think about it, like 2 years ago, it was just flooded market, you know?
Yeah.
It's so wild how many clubs, even right now, I think before COVID, they were trying to open a couple more.
Yeah, the Grand Comedy Club just opened in
Yeah.
Escondido.
Good dude.
Yeah.
I like
Adam.
that room.
Yeah.
That guy's a good dude.
I
man.
helped him out a little bit with that one. You know, just because I've known the guy forever. He was a comic in San Diego. He was co-owner of Aces back in the day up in
I remember
Murrieta.
Aces, yeah.
Yeah, so he was co-owner with that, but him and the other guy had some problems or whatever.
Yeah.
And they got
Gabe
shut
Kaplan.
down. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't even believe Gabe Kaplan was the other guy from Welcome Back Kotter, who's on that lunchbox right there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I fucking love Gabe Kaplan. Been wanting to get him on the podcast. At some point, he turned into a pro poker player on TV. And when I grew up, he was fucking on TV on a huge show, you know?
Yeah.
So 3 weeks later, you're going to try it. You're a lot like me, you know, you don't know what to do. You're just writing down some ideas.
No,
on paper.
I had nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
I had nothing.
Oh, you went crowd work.
I went straight. I didn't know that comics wrote jokes. I
Yeah.
thought they were just funny.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
When I saw people, I didn't know that was worked out over a year and a half. I thought they just said new shit every night.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I thought like, yeah, all right, I got a funny story today. And then you're like, you tell the story and you're out.
Yeah. As your 3 minutes are up.
Yeah.
So I sign up for the open mic, and back then we had to physically be at the club to sign up, and then 3 hours later was when the show would start. And so I used to have to take the bus to get there, and it took me like an hour and a half on the bus. So there was no going home and then coming back. So I just went and hung out at Starbucks across the street.
Oh, yeah.
And the other comics are like working on their jokes. I'm like, what are you guys doing? They're like, oh, we're working on our sets. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what are you working on? I was like, nothing. I'm just going to, like, it's your first time on stage. You don't have any jokes prepared. You're just going to wing it? And I was like, yeah, I guess that's, you know.
And in do you remember what you talked about?
Yeah, I talked about being nervous because I was physically shaking.
Yeah.
I remember hearing something at the, because after we left Starbucks, we went to the bar to grab a drink. And I remember somebody talking, like construction dudes talking about drywall.
Yeah.
And so I made up some stupid ass joke that was like, drywall, that's what happens when I don't jerk off in the morning. You know, some dumb, stupid,
Yeah.
you know, so that was like my very first joke I said on stage ever. There was like 2 chuckles, and I was like, all right, well, you know, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
You know, there's
yeah.
some chuckles. Now I know I'm supposed to write some shit. And I just kept going back.
Was it Thursday nights back then?
No, it's Sunday.
Sunday nights.
Yeah. So it used to be Wednesday, Thursday was just the best of San Diego and whoever came down from Hollywood. Fridays and Saturdays were the weekend headliners, and then Sunday was the potluck with the open mic and the best of guys.
Wow.
So whoever was there over the weekend, if they stayed an extra day, they can go up in La Jolla. If anybody was coming down from LA, they got to go up, and then the guys that just got passed from down there.
The La Jolla Comedy Store, and I've said this before, was the key to me figuring it out, because there would be a couple of us every week. I would ride my motorcycle down there, and I would do La Jolla for 5 minutes, some bar show, a PB, and then some other show. You could get 3 spots in a night. So you did
quality spots too.
Yeah.
In front of audiences.
Yeah. So I was really like, man, I did like 20 minutes of comedy tonight. Not all together, but 5 here, 8 there, and then I'd ride all the way home.
It was like you had a new motorcycle every time you came down.
Yeah.
You're like switching them out like underwear.
Well, I was selling motorcycles at the time, and I was getting the employee deals. So I'd buy a great one that was hard to get, and then I would sell it and live on some of the money, and then keep doing it. So it was constantly new stuff. It was just survival mode.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, you were just starting out of comedy.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? I think I remember when you were on the set of Long Shots.
Yeah, I did a movie. Yep.
Yeah. And was it Patrice O'Neill?
No, it was 3 guys. It was fucking Garrett Morris from Saturday Night Live, who I watched as a kid, and then Michael Collier, and then Earthquake.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and Earthquake and I, we would ride on the golf cart to the set because it was on a football field. And, Earthquake didn't really say much, but he'd be like, he's just really cool. And I said, how'd you get this movie? I don't know. My agent got it for me, I go, well, what do you do? And he goes, I do stand-up. And I was like, well, I watch stand-up every night. I never even heard of you, because I was going out watching it.
See, I knew of him because I'd stay at home and I'd watch it. And any channel that would have stand-up, I'd turn it on.
Yeah.
So I was watching like BET Comic View and all those different shows and programs and finding out about all these different comics.
Yeah. I went and saw him, and he murdered. And he really was the one who said, man, you can't do comedy. You're old, man. He's laughing. But then after working on the film for a while, like I've said a million times, I was riffing on the script with him. And then he was like, man, I think you could do it. Get home, start hitting open mics.
Didn't he tell you to do 1,000 shows?
He said, yeah. He goes, don't stop every night. And then hit me in a year. And if you're still doing it, I'll put you on stage. And I showed up, I remember a year later at the Union, Comedy Union. I said, hey, Earthquake, it's me. And he's like, oh, who are you? Like he didn't remember. I go, it's Dean. We did that movie. I had a different look. And he goes, oh, man, I didn't think you would really do it. All right, fuck it, go up there. And, man, it was crazy, scary, packed. First urban show I've ever did. And I was like, whoa. And I had this long shots joke. So it worked, but it was an edgy kind of joke at the time. And then I got up and he's like, man, you killed it. Come back anytime. So I started doing that room,
If you're white and you can do the urban circuit,
yeah,
you're good.
Well, Bill Burr told me one of the biggest keys, one of the biggest tips was he watched me. He happened to be at the Union one night. And he said, man, what are you doing up there? Because I was like, oh, you know what I mean? I was being like a big white guy.
Yeah.
Trying to be the fucking, hey, here's the big fat white guy. And I said, I don't know, man. He goes, man, I see you at the store, and you're not like this at all. He goes, I'm going to tell you what. Don't do that, because if they like that and they go see you somewhere else and you're not doing that, they're going to be like, what is this? So, just be yourself up there. And he went up there and fucking destroyed. This ain't Bill Burr now, where of course this is a Bill Burr 9 years ago, and he walked on. He was just fucking killing. He had that joke about ashy skin. I crushed, and I learned right there. All right, don't be big goofy white guy. Yeah. So the next time you go on, how long till you go on again?
It's a week.
Back there?
Yeah, right back there. It was. See, I didn't know where the other stages were.
Yeah, right.
And nobody talked about it. It's like everybody kept it secret, bottled up, so they can get all the stage time.
Wow.
So once a week, I would get up at the store in La Jolla and just work on my sets. And then other shows started to find out about other shows. And so, we would drive up to Oceanside and do a set over there after the set on Sunday. Monday nights was at Lestat's. Friday nights at Winston's. And so there was like a little circuit that you would find. And then people always starting out coffee shops and bar shows and things all over the place. And then you just hone your skills then that way.
There was that great one at Lestat's.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Spicer was doing for years. What a show that was.
Started out with Mark Saratella started that show.
Wow.
This dude, Josh Mullins, continued on. Then it was Mal Hall.
Oh, yeah, Mal.
That controlled it. And then it went to Christian and Rajan. And now Dustin Nickerson was the last one to do it. I think he passed it on. So it's a show that just keeps getting passed on to comic to comic to comic. And it's a great room.
Oh.
It's so fucking
perfect
fun.
for a special.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I mean, just tight.
They pack them in there, too.
No booze.
No.
It was always tricky, too, because it was kind of right around when PC was kind of happening, starting to happen.
Yeah.
And it's younger audience. And they might not know your music references or whatever. So it really taught me, and it might have taught you too, how to be funny universally without being hacky. Yeah. I'm going to get these guys.
Or being a dick.
Yeah, you don't want to be that. You fucking kids are 9. You don't know shit.
Yeah.
You don't even got hair on your balls. That old hacky shit, you know? Don't do that. Figure it out. It's your fucking problem, not theirs.
Exactly.
I love that place.
I think more comics need to realize that.
Yeah. It's the insecurity. You get up there and your jokes aren't working. You just start lashing out. Now, once in a while, you know that old saying, it's not the crowd. Nah, sometimes it is.
Sometimes
I don't give a fuck what you say.
Yeah.
I've seen
every once in a while. There's always the exception to the rule.
Right.
Every once in a while, you get a shit crowd.
Do you start writing bits like nonstop, or are you just trying to tool up a good 5? What are you looking at?
I just kept writing bits over and over and just, trying to get as much material as possible. And then I realized after I had to do my first half an hour a couple months in, because none of the other comics showed up.
So you had to do a half hour.
So I ended up having to do a half hour at this one place called Uncle Goose Cantina in Oceanside.
Wow.
So I got done doing my set at the store. I shot up to Oceanside, and none of the other comics showed up. And then finally one other dude showed up, but we had the whole time to fill. So it was like 3 of us that had to do. So I did a half an hour. Like I just started writing jokes, like just sitting there. I was like, I just got to figure this out. And that's when I realized to don't just do it just because it's there. And really start working on the jokes that you have to make them as good as possible.
Now, are you working a job at the time? Where are you working while you were starting out after the Marines?
So I was working at the Picture People.
At the what?
Picture People. It's like one of those mall family photography places.
Oh, all right.
So
I don't know it, but I know it is like the Sears family photo thing.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I went from shooting women and children overseas to doing it in America.
Wow. There's one of your bits.
I've never said that on stage.
That's it.
So I was doing that for a little bit, and then I got fired from there. And then
You got fired?
Yeah. I used to show up fucking hammered and hungover and all that stuff, drinking all night, and they'd have to send me home. And
oh man,
I was 24 years old, just got out of the Marine Corps.
Yeah,
a lot of my buddies had just gotten back from overseas. You know what I mean? Like, so that like some of my guys were still in, and we'd still hang out and drink like we used to. But you can't do that with a civilian job. So I ended up going back to school, studying theater for a little bit, living off the GI Bill, and then ended up working for this furniture store, selling high-end couches and shit.
Wow, really?
For a little bit. And then I got hired on at the La Jolla store and just worked my way up to assistant manager. And
yeah. How do you get the gig at the store? Was it like the store in L.A. where they have door people and you work for stage time, or what was that about? Yeah?
Yeah, I worked for free for like 6 months.
Yeah.
For like an extra 2 minutes on Sunday. So instead of 3 minutes, I would get 5 minutes right at the end of the open mic, right before the best stuff started.
Yeah.
So, and then they ended up putting me on the payroll, and I started getting spots on Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, and I was part of the crew.
Yeah.
And I just kept working my way up from there. Started coming up to Hollywood. Anything I had that killed in San Diego, I'd take it up to L.A., and if it worked in the belly room or in the OR, it was golden.
Yeah.
So that's basically how my journey went. Now, back then, it wasn't packed. Back then, I would come up and I'd get my spot.
Yeah, terrible.
And there'd be like 2-3 people in the audience.
Terrible, right? I know.
And if anybody went to the bathroom, you were talking in front of nobody.
I know. It'd be like, oh no, that guy has to go pay his parking meter.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He's not going to be back in time.
Yeah, you're almost like, hey, dude, I'll pay your ticket. Just stay here. Here's
like, $60, man.
Yeah, I don't have any money, but I need 3 guys to do this joke. God, it was so weird back then. Just not start the show unless there's 7 people in the audience. The open mics had no one. Nobody. And all the comics had to sit in the back. I was always like, why are they sitting in the back?
Well, in case anybody shows
I know, but it was like this. I thought at least put the 30 people in the audience, and it would look happening if an audience member came in, But yeah.
And then you get done doing your spot, and if you had another spot, you'd go do that, and then you'd come back to the store and hang out at the store. You go watch the Ding Dong Show up in the belly room, and this is pre-podcast, so.
Oh God, yeah. Be there till 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
They didn't close. I mean, after 2, they just cleared the booze, and you could stay open if there was people in the showroom. That was the rule. So wild. Now, when you start at La Jolla Comedy Store, that's way back then. I always like to hear great stories about people that are killing now. Like let's say, what was like Sebastian like? Because I had Jeff Scott on. Long live Jeff Scott. We just lost him.
Yeah, rest in peace, Jeff.
But he told a story. I had him on 7.5 years ago. How Sebastian, he was like, this guy ain't ever gonna make it. And then he talks about a key night where everything turned around. It was like, wow. So were you seeing guys, headliners come down and paid regulars, and you're like, yeah, that's not that funny, not doing good. And then later, whoa, this guy got good.
There was some of that. Seeing the biggest thing that I like to talk about is Whitney.
Oh yeah.
Whitney's first headlining weekend was at the La Jolla Stores. We were the first club that gave her a headlining spot. I've seen her feature like from the very beginning of like her kind of getting out from LA. And I always remember something about her is that she is a workaholic. She does not stop working. Like she would be in the green room writing scripts.
Right.
And then she'd get on stage and do her set and get off stage and go through her notes and stuff like that. And she was just a workaholic. She was nonstop working. So I always remember that about Whitney. Because I think a lot of people said, she doesn't hang out, she doesn't do this, she doesn't do that. And it's like, well, she's busy. She's, she's focused, she's writing. And it's like something I always try and take into account whenever I do anything.
Yeah.
Is it really put your heart and your soul into it and make it work.
I never understood the hanging out thing until you were done with your spots. I'm like, yeah, I'll see you later on, but I'm trying to fish up some spots right now.
Yeah.
I don't have time. I'm 44. I don't have 10 years to dick off, because then I would be right now 55 and be like, all right, I'm ready to get serious about comedy.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
It don't work like that. Now, if you're 21, if I started when I was 21, I understand that move at all. Let's get some weed, let's get some booze, and let's party all night and whatever. But I'm glad I did start when I did start, because then I was focused like, oh, I've done all that stuff, and let's do some comedy.
Yeah, I always tell the new guys whenever I see them, they go, oh, I need to get a drink before I go on stage. And I was like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
You want to be clear-headed. You want to, your job is the stage. Your party comes afterwards.
Yeah.
So, kick
and
back, relax.
it's so great, that feeling.
Yeah.
We couldn't even get that now if we tried.
No.
People go, you nervous up there? I'm like, no, man. This is what I do.
Yeah.
Every day. Like when you're cutting hair, are you nervous? I mean, maybe you are cutting hair because people go, you just fucked my shit up. But, somebody that pulls engines out of a fucking Corvette every day of their life, they just do it.
Yeah.
And, it's...
and you've gone through so many hard times and so many bombs and horrible jokes and sets that if something's happening, you know how to deal with it.
Yeah,
I mean?
got them all. Oh, yeah. I saw this 4 years ago when I did Tinkers in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know how to take care of this.
Yeah. I've been through this before. All right, this isn't working. Let me pivot. Let me start going in this direction. Let me.
What was some of the first year bombing? You remember some of your good bombs?
I don't remember what I said, but I remember bombing so hard that I was getting blamed for other comics' jokes that they didn't like.
That's great.
I was outside. I got done with a horrible set.
Yeah.
I was outside. I'd just been sitting out there for like maybe 30, 40 minutes. And some lady comes outside, sees me, and she's like yelling in my face.
Oh, yeah. I remember one time I was out front of the store.
Yeah.
The guy comes up. He goes, him and his wife go, man, we really liked your set. You were fantastic. And I was sitting there. I said, thank you, man, but I haven't gone on yet. And the guy goes, he goes, you don't have to be a fucking Hollywood asshole. And I was like, what are you talking? I haven't gone on. He's like, let's get out of here, honey. And they walked away. And I was like, what the fuck?
Like, my name is Dean. Look at the list.
I haven't even been on yet.
I'm up in 30 minutes.
I was unreal.
Stick around.
Yeah, the guy just coming up. You were great. I should have just said, yeah, thanks, man. But I
should have been the Hollywood douchebag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. But I was just, letting him know that it wasn't me in case he wanted to find the comic that it was. Yeah. But yeah, it's funny. There's also a funny thing that people do when you bomb and you're with let's say the headliner, and you don't do that good, and the headliner's out there greeting people, and you're there, and they're like, "Great show," and then they see you, and they go, "Oh, you were good too."
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, you were good too. Or keep it up. Keep it up.
You'll get it one day.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's like. Yeah, it's comedy is so fucking crazy.
Well, yeah, it's the only art form that to get good, you have to do it in front of people.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you can practice. Like with guitar, you get to practice your guitar in your room until you get good.
That's it.
And then you show people. With comedy, it's just fucking sink or swim.
Yeah.
Get up there and go.
That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
You know? Who were some of the guys down there that started in the La Jolla and then moved to LA and took off? Who were they down there?
Let's see. Dat Fan started out in San Diego. Bobby Lee started out in San Diego. Faison Love started out in San Diego. Like these are people before my time. Brian Moses is a La Jolla guy. Trying to think who's been taking off.
Oh, whatever happened to Kyle?
Kyle is living in Ventura County. He's up in Santa Barbara.
Oh, really?
With his in-laws and stuff like that.
I was wondering. I hadn't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, he's been on the road. He was on the road a lot with Trevino.
Oh, yeah.
So he was always out on the road.
Right. And you were working with Trevino also.
Yeah. I'd go every once in a while whenever, like, he was in California or, like, when shit just started opening back up in Texas, he called me, and I flew out there for a couple weekends to do some shows. But let's see, Steven Garza is another La Jolla dude.
Oh, yeah. Where's Garza at?
I don't know.
I don't either.
So, well, I mean, everything's closed right now.
Of course, yeah. But I mean, you just kind of like, oh, yeah, Garza.
Billy Bonnell.
Yeah.
Greg Santos. I don't know if Santos is doing stand-up as much. I see him in commercials all the time. But
Moses had that great show down there at the old Hollywood, the Improv in PB. It was a different building later.
Yeah, it was like Moondoggies.
Yeah. He had that one going. And then what's the other one in the bar upstairs there?
El Prez.
Yeah, that was
Josh
good.
Nelson's room.
That was great.
Yeah, that's a great show.
Yeah, there's so. You know, I was telling somebody I probably have done comedy, of course, the most in LA. Second, no doubt about it, San Diego. Like if you went through my 11 years of spots, it would be a zillion LAs and then a half a zillion San Diegos. Great comedy spot because you're 2 hours away and you can really just go figure it out.
Yeah.
Not in the fucking light of the industry.
No, you just get to go work on your sets and then present a solid piece later on.
Yeah.
It's great for development.
I remember Hinchcliffe, me and Brody all went down one night, did a night. For some reason, it was some benefit or something. We all went. It was fucking great. And then your Toys for Tots shows every year were fantastic.
Yeah.
How does that start? You were in the Marines?
I finally got into a position at the store where I could start doing things myself and putting things together myself. So also, I love Christmas. I was a poor kid growing up, and so we didn't always have great Christmases, and the Marine Corps ties into it as well. And I just wanted to do something to give back. I'm a firm believer that if you're in a position in society where you can give back, it's kind of your duty to do so. That's how we work. That's how we build, as a society together. So I started the Toys for Tots show, and Simone was on it forever. And
Brent Ernst.
Yeah, Ernst came down one time. Trevino's done it. You've done it a bunch of times. Vicky Barbalak's on it all the time. So,
I love it.
It just became a thing, and I just started picking up speed. Like the first one, I think there was like 70 people. The second one was like 40. So it was like, it was hurting right off the bat, but then it just, started picking up steam. I started, like all the radio shows down there started putting me on to help promote it, and it became like a little monster. It became like a thing that people did every year. And the coolest thing was seeing everybody walking down the street with toys in their hands and games, and, the Marines are in dress blues taking up all the donations, all the toys and stuff. So yeah, it just became this wonderful thing that I did every year except for this past year due to COVID, that I can't wait to get it started up again.
Yeah, so. I've done a lot of benefits in there. I did the one for breast cancer.
Yeah,
I've done the Toys for Tots. A lot of stuff in there, and it's There's nothing better than doing comedy for, like a charity. And especially when the crowd's great. They're a little tight. Like they're not necessarily comedy fans, but they're going to support, let's say, a charity of like breast cancer.
Yeah.
And then they're like, whoa.
Wait, did he just say that?
What is this shit? It's really fun.
That's why I love the Toys for Tots show, because they expect it to be funny.
Yeah.
They expect the Comedy Store to be the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it's always just a slew of fucking killer comics on there.
I remember the first time I went there, and I tell Ian this one, and I made the mistake of telling Ian Edwards this one, because so down there they have piano player just like Jeff Scott. They got it there. His name is Lou, and how long's Lou been there?
Lou's been there 26 years.
26 years. How long's the La Jolla Comedy Store been there?
44 years.
God, man.
43 years.
Yeah, and it was originally in PB, and after a year, Mitzi was like, fuck this audience, just drunk college people, and moved it.
No, it was tied into a restaurant. She wanted to up the cover charge.
Oh.
And the restaurant owner was like, they're not going to buy any food. And she's like, fuck you, I'm out.
Oh, I love it how you get the story later that people just come up with. What I heard, and I believed it because PB is just lunatics down there, that every night they were having to throw people out because it was just going like, and so she's like, this ain't a proper comedy on it. So it's great to hear the real deal there. But I'm down there the first time I go down, and Lou brings you up if you're first, just like Jeff Scott would be. So I'm first, and he brings me up, and he goes, all right, everybody, we got a exciting performer here. He played rock and roll for years, and now he does comedy. Welcome him up, Dean Del Rio. He called me. I've never even corrected him. And my name's on the marquee, and it's still to this day, I love it. He calls me Dean Del Rio, and I love it, man.
Lou is known for fucking up people's last names.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Sandy
yeah.
Danto is Sandy Dito.
Yeah. I love it. So I told Ian, I go, man, he calls me Dean Del Rio, man. It's no good for my Instagram followers. And so forever, Ian would be like, Dean Del Rio all the time. It was so fucking funny, man.
Lou's high as shit, man. He's always smoking weed in the alley. Just come in there, plays.
He's great.
The best is when he falls asleep in the lobby.
Oh.
And the comic finishes.
Yeah.
And then he just jumps up and runs to his piano.
Oh.
And he starts playing as he's sitting down.
That old school, when I first started, it had the green furniture in the lobby there. Yeah, and then the old, not the flat screen, an old like projector TV that never did. There's a photo of Eric Griffin and I sitting on the couch, and I'm exploding in tears in the photo because Eric Griffin is doing 5 minutes crowd work on the projector TV right there with the light tubes, Yep. And the condo was hilarious. The blue shag carpet.
The blue walls.
Oh, the blue walls. And I remember the first time I went, my bed, it's a 2-bedroom condo, let everybody know. And the Comedy Store owned the condo. It was right on the beach, so everybody loved it. Like, holy shit, we get a weekend, like a vacation. And the headliner got the main bedroom, and then it was a living room and another bedroom with 2 beds.
Yep.
And there were these little shitty twin beds, and mine was horseshoed. Somebody had slept on it. So many people have slept on it. So many.
It's just busted.
It was just a horseshoe. And I was like, wow. And you didn't want to touch anything. The carpet was ancient. As a matter of fact, the week I did it, about a week later, somebody got bed bugs.
Yeah.
And Sandy Danto, I think. And then they tore the whole place apart and redid it.
Yeah. I remember I was part of the cleaning crew for that.
Yeah.
And we were like, we had to throw the mattresses over the patio, over the balcony.
Yeah.
And then carry it to the truck to go take it to the dump. And these people were like, bed bugs? And then they look where we were taking it out of, like, oh, Pauly Shore's place? That figures.
I got a fucking crazy story about that place. So I always had a nice motorcycle.
Yep.
And so I ride down there, and I'm working. Eleanor Kerrigan and I are co-headlining. And so I go, Eleanor, you just park in the garage, and I'm on the motorcycle. I'll park it in the garage. Like they had these side things, like just side spots that say like motorcycle or shopping carts or whatever. But I want to make sure that it's all cool. Because I don't want anybody to fucking, ruffle any feathers. I'm fucking new at the store. So I go up to the property management lady's condo.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I had no idea.
She hates the Comedy Store.
Oh my God, she hates it. So I knock on the door. I believe she's got parrots. It's like, ah!
Oh yeah, she's a bird person?
There's like birds in there or something. I go, hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm here for the weekend, and I've got a motorcycle, and I don't want it to get stolen on the street. And I was more afraid of drunk fucking people. Back then, drunk people would get on your bike like, Instagram selfie, and, fall over people's bikes.
Yeah.
So I had this brand new motorcycle, and I go, yeah, I'm in, and she goes, what number are you in? And I don't know. I said 512, whatever it is. And she goes, absolutely not. Closes the door on my face. I'm like, what the fuck? That's weird. What? So I go and I tell Ryan, who's the general manager, and he goes, oh no, that fucking lady hates us. And I'm like, God damn, she was evil as fuck. And he goes, oh yeah. So he goes, fuck her. Here's where you're going to park. You can park here. It's okay in this one spot. I park in the spot in the underground garage. I come out in the morning, and this is no joke. There is a massive roll of cyclone fence, massive, on my bike. Like just thrown on the bike, like it was like in the corner there that they were using for some. And I'm talking a huge roll of cyclone
like your
fence.
bike's a table.
Yeah, exactly. On the fucking bike. And scratch the tank, the bar, brand new motorcycle. I just go up there. I'm like, hey, somebody put some fucking fucking cyclone fence on my motorcycle, scratched it all up. I know you got some cameras or something. Let's look at it. She just closed the door on my face again. I couldn't believe it, actually. She obviously, did it. Had somebody do it.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, she tried to get us kicked out of there, but her timeline wasn't the correct timeline. Mm-hmm. There was like an incident that happened. She was trying to blame the Comedy Store for it.
Yeah.
Her story kept switching, and her timeline was all jacked up. And and Ryan was like, "I was there at that time. That's not."
People are crazy.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, Ryan fixed up the condo, and it was just great.
Dude, they put so much money into that thing.
Oh, it was so nice.
So much money in there.
Yeah, I love it, though. You just open up the deck, and you're just right on the beach, man. But, man, that thing gets weird humidity in there.
Yeah.
It's so weird. You're like in a sauna. Like when it's hot out, and then it kind of cools down, this fog and humidity gets in there. I've had so many great fucking nights at the La Jolla Comedy Store. It's been unreal, man. At what point do you headline your own show at the La Jolla Comedy Store? How many years in? And tell me about that.
So I was probably about 5 years in on a Thursday night. And you got to pack it out yourself.
Yeah.
And it was my first time doing it. I put my lineup together, and I'm just ready to go. And, I'm just, you're psyched, but you're also nervous because you're like, at first, like, because back then the doors open an hour before the show time. And for like the first 30 minutes, nobody's showing up.
No one.
And so you're just like shitting bricks, like, oh my God, is anybody going to be here?
And Ryan's standing over there on the side of the
with
bar.
His arms folded.
Yep. And he's like,
at you.
just like I thought, no one here.
Yep.
And you're just like, oh, fuck. I more cared about Ryan being happy than anyone else,
Yeah. Well, he would fuck with the comics.
Oh.
He would make the comics as nervous as humanly possible.
Oh, totally.
And just to, but I mean, it works. It works. It makes them stronger.
Yeah, totally.
You got to get through that.
Yeah, like you have a pretty good set and you go see them, man. Yeah, they're great, huh? And you go, yeah. And you're like, fuck. Fuck.
I go to his house. I know his kid. You know what I mean? His wife, we all hang out. My wife. And
I love him. We hit it off on BMX.
Yeah.
We got off on the wrong foot early on. because I was late. I thought there was a host. I didn't know there's no host like at the La Jolla Comedy Store. So I go, oh, I'm at the condo. I got 15 minutes. I show up, and he goes, you missed your spot.
Yeah, and you don't go up.
Not tonight. And I was like, wait, I thought there's a host. There's no host here. I was like, what?
Tag team.
Somebody told me there was a host. So I go, oh, I'll just jump a shower real quick. Missed my spot. Oh, brutal. But yeah, so you're headlining?
So I headlined my own show, nervous as shit. Finally, people started showing up. The club seats 200. I think it was about like 120, 130, which is really good for that room. That's like, if you're going to record like an album in that room, you want about anywhere between 120 and 150 in there.
Yeah.
Just so people have enough room to spread out. The laughters, it comes through really nice and crisp on the recordings and stuff. And I had a good set. Like looking back now, where I'm at now to what I was doing back then, like it was right where I should be.
Yep.
I had a good set. I felt on top of the world. Hung out all night partying, hanging out with people and stuff like that. Woke up the next day miserable and depressed because I had to go back to work.
Oh, yeah.
To go sell
the party's over.
Furniture. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to go sell furniture. Like, oh, no, not there yet.
Yeah.
Not a headliner yet.
Yeah.
Just,
I've been there, man.
I had my
in the morning selling motorcycles.
Yep.
Should I get the blue one or the red one? I'm going to call my wife. Get the fuck out of here. Just fucking buy it. You're not even going to ride it. God damn it. I got to get funnier.
Sit in your goddamn garage until your wife makes you sell it.
God, it's so crazy. Now, what is happening now with the store? It was La Jolla. It was open for some parking lot gigs for a while, and then that got shut down, right?
Yeah.
Mid-COVID. How did that get shut down and other shows seem to be happening? Was it different counties or towns in San Diego?
Well, the sheriff's department shut down all three of the comedy clubs that were open in one night within an hour of each other.
Wow.
They just went from one to the other to the other. Like,
wow.
Boom, boom, boom. Because there's live entertainment illegal in the state of California. So after a month of doing shows outside, socially distanced, food, all the regulations and then some, temperature checks and sanitizer everywhere and just one show a night. And like, we're safer than restaurants.
Yeah.
And we were still shut down because, somebody's on stage talking.
Yeah.
So
I didn't understand that. I always say like, oh, you can eat in a fork with a fork and knife, but if you put a mic in your hand, that thing makes COVID.
Yeah.
That's a COVID maker.
Yeah.
He's got a COVID maker in his hand.
Yeah. He's just spewing COVID through the speakers.
Yeah. COVID maker.
So all the clubs in San Diego got shut down in one night. There were still like little bar gigs and stuff like that,
right.
like breweries and stuff that were
Gangster
still doing.
Stuff.
Yeah. That, was hiding out. And then in Escondido, the Grand Comedy Club, the chief of police in Escondido said they're not, as long as you're being safe, we're not going to shut you down.
Yeah.
We know you got to take care of your businesses and all this other stuff, and make money to take care of your families and things. So, thank God they didn't do that. And again, outside, socially distanced. It's not nearly at the capacity as it would have been if it was open indoors. But yeah. So then after a while, the strip clubs had been battling out in the courthouses.
Outdoor stripping?
Well, so they could open up.
Right.
So the two main strip clubs kind of teamed up, and they were just fighting. And they finally got it okayed for live entertainment in San Diego. And then 2 days later is when the governor said that San Diego had too many COVID cases and they had to shut everything down again. So we're about to open again.
Wow.
Thanks to the strippers. Yeah, so now they're just doing the abatement inside and taking care of some repairs that they need to take care of. And as soon as the numbers drop back down, and we're just getting ready to open back up.
If you've never been to the La Jolla Comedy Store, it is fantastic. It's a classic. So you guys are just you redid the bathrooms right before the COVID. The bathrooms are fantastic now.
Yep.
Real big and good. Before it was just a one-shotter.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You're bumping elbows.
Yeah. I'd always be like, I know I'm headlining when Mike Vinn's shitting every time I go in the bathroom.
Why do I have that reputation?
That was so funny. But so you guys are cleaning that up in a little bit. Let's talk real quick about Lou's wife. I skipped over that, and I want to talk about that because Vicky was on what show?
America's Got Talent.
Yeah,
she made it to the finals of I think it was like season 18 or 19. It was 2019,
right? Yeah. And that was cool because all of a sudden, the world is watching her every week on there. And she's coming up to Hollywood Comedy Store to run the bits all week and really grinding this, and got further than 99% of comics do every season.
Yeah.
You know, comics always get bounced for the juggler with fire. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
like this
what
guy?
year is this?
Yeah.
The 30s, a juggler. You know? But you tell me a little bit about what was going through her mind, because you would see her a lot and stuff. What was that like?
Well, I've known Vicky forever. She's a really close friend of mine, and we're actually I'm helping produce her podcast called Big Girls Don't Cry.
Oh, cool!
So you can check that out.
It's out right now.
Yeah, it's out right now. It's like almost 30 episodes deep.
Great.
But so I've known she was hilarious. Like, she won Nick at Night's Funniest Mom in America years ago.
Really?
Yeah. Remember when that show was on?
Yeah, that's cool.
So she won that years ago, but nothing came out of it. And she was just, at La Jolla all the time and working things out and doing little, shows here and there and whatever she can get. And then she got the call for AGT, and then it was just fucking go time. And thank God she had been doing it for so long, because she had
years of jokes that no one had seen.
Years of jokes, yeah. Because she had never been on TV for it before.
That's great.
Not all of her jokes, because like when you watch her on AGT, remember that's a family show,
right?
But she's not necessarily a family comic,
right?
You know what I mean? Like,
you got to figure it out. You know,
like she's performing at adult clubs,
right?
You know what I mean? Like these, like the improvs and the store and stuff like that. They're all 21 and up or 18 and up, so they're adults are going to these places.
There's not 9-year-olds on the couch with their family.
Exactly,
right?
So she really had to clean up her sets for America's Got Talent, and I remember when she was doing the semifinal round before the finals, and she just went for the gusto and tossed out the rest of her killer jokes on that, and she had nothing for the finals.
Damn.
Because nothing else would work, because you have to go through their people and
right, you got to run it through them, let them know.
They're like, no, that's too dirty, no, you can't say this, no, you can't say that.
Damn.
And so you're constantly writing, and she's got people with her, and like I'm with her, and other comics are like, and she's like, all right, we need to fix this and that and the other thing. And it's, it's a crazy process. Like when you, like all you listeners back at home, when you see a comic on like Conan or any of the late night spots or any shows that are on primetime TV and family, you got to go through hell getting your set exactly how they want it to be.
It was the hardest thing I ever did.
Yeah.
I mean, Marin called me one day and he goes, hey man, Tonight Show said they've been calling you for 2 years and asking you for a set, and you don't do it. And I go, well, I mean, fuck, what am I going to say on there, man? I don't have it. He's like, hey, man, it's part of the gig. You got to figure it out. You got to do one of these. You got to get it under your belt.
You got to get those credits so that way you can.
Fuck it. All right, I'll do it, and I'm glad I did do it. But 5 minutes, that's seamless and not bumpy with, okay, it's half of this joke and then it's a quarter of that joke. And then that's why I always loved Now Magical. He just picked one topic and just rolled through it like day laborer. But they don't like that, because if the people don't like your topic, they check out for the 5 minutes. But his was so goddamn smoking.
Well, I mean, that's, right. That's Al. So.
Yeah, right. But man, is it hard, Yeah, so she gets that far. And after starts doing theaters, and you're opening for her, right? Is she doing theaters?
She was she jumped into headliner status. I mean, she was already a headliner,
right?
It's just that nobody knew of her. But she jumped into known, selling out clubs all over the place. She's doing theaters here and there. I did clubs with her. I didn't do any of the theaters, but I mean, it was the bigger clubs, like the 450, 500 seaters.
Great.
So which was awesome. And then Jesse Egan was the other comic from San Diego that she took all over the place with him, or with her. So, but yeah, those are great. Like doing stand up live in Phoenix, and you know, hitting Brea on a packed night when it's sold out. Brea when it's New Brea, not the old Brea.
Yeah, I never even saw New Brea because it opened, and I was going to do it, and then COVID. You know, I've never even seen it yet.
It's cool. It's on like the corner.
Yeah, right.
Big, huge.
I
Yeah.
They got that
crazy.
old Gap or whatever. The old, jean shop thing. I think it was the Gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, being on the road with Vicky is crazy because people dress up like her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like she'll be on stage because she's all animal print and wig and stuff like that. And then people will come to take pictures with her afterwards, and Lou's slinging the merch and stuff like that. And I'm helping out, and all of a sudden there's people start showing up dressed like Vicky.
That's cool.
It was so for real. And the other thing was, because it was fresh off America's Got Talent, we'd be walking through airports and people would start freaking out.
Oh, I can imagine.
Like, fanning their faces, pointing like,
Yeah. I can imagine, man, because that show, a zillion people watch that show. Yeah. I mean, look at the people that have taken that kind of stuff, like the dude, Adam Lambert, that sings with Queen.
Yeah.
People that have really parlayed this into a massive career on any of those, the Voice, America's Got Talent. Melissa Villasenora was on American. She got pretty far.
Yeah. She Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, SNL, man. Yeah. Fucking great.
Dude, but the coolest thing was one time we're getting on the airplane, we're going to our seats, and we're walking through first class. She still flies coach. She still takes the cheap seats.
Of course.
But so we're walking past, and this lady starts smacking her husband right next to her, the dude that she was with. She's like, "Oh my God, that looks just like." And I'm just walking past her. I'm like, "It is."
Yeah.
We keep moving back to her.
She should have said, "Honey, you switch seats with her. I want her to sit up here with me. You got a coach, honey."
Well, yeah, I mean, but rightfully so. She deserved all her success. She's put in so much work and so many years of stand-up and dedication, and it's gotten so funny. Even before the show, she would just get on stage and destroy it. Like the first time I saw her, I was like, "Who's this lady?" And then she got on stage and just fucking killed the room. Yeah. And I was like, "Oh my God!" This lady's phenomenal. And then we became friends. And then,
I love the La Jolla Comedy Store, man. It's I've had some insane sets there. I've had some weird sets there. I've seen the whole town change. The Ferrari dealer's gone now. The Starbucks moved around the corner. The fucking Chinese restaurant turned into an Indian restaurant across the street. Just everything around that little area. And the
Radio Shack's like a math tutor place.
Yeah, weird. And the $12 fucking oatmeal around the corner. Just all of that, man. And also the friends I've gotten out of there, you and Ryan and everybody that works down there. It's a magic room. As much as the Comedy Store. I was surprised it didn't get any mention on the Comedy Store doc, even just a hair,
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a different animal, but still, it should have got a little mention of like, hey, this was all happening, and then they opened this one in the 70s also, whatever. But I was a little disappointed in that because it's been there fucking 40-something years.
Yeah.
That's a long goddamn time.
Cheech and Chong honed theirs. They got sent. Mitzi sent Cheech and Chong to La Jolla.
Is that right?
To hone their stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so when Cheech and Chong got back together, the first place they hit was La Jolla. Like, we knew they were back together a month before it happened.
Oh, I went to that.
And we had to keep it quiet.
Yeah, like 15 or 12 years ago or whatever. When they got
something like that.
Yeah, I saw it at the Roxy opening night. I got a poster and everything.
Yeah.
I went, man.
So that Wednesday, they had that press conference. They announced they were back together. Wednesday night through Sunday, they're at the La Jolla Comedy Store.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the fucking coolest. Like, I've never felt an energy like that ever in my life was when they brought out Cheech. Whoa. And I had to escort them to the stage.
Yeah.
Because, everybody was so crazy. And, smack cameras away like I'm blocking paparazzi.
Yeah.
And shit.
Yeah.
But, just because Tommy Chong's wife, would do the opening spot.
Oh, really?
And she'd be like, all right, so your next, the next comic coming to the stage needs no introduction, so let's just bring him out. And Lowrider starts playing and everybody goes ballistic.
Shit.
And just the whole feeling in that, because it's such an intimate room.
Oh, yeah.
And it was packed. And we went past fucking Fire Marshal that weekend.
Yeah.
I got 225 people in there on every show.
Wow.
And we seat 200.
Wow.
Yeah. Nuts to butts.
And to see those guys, Yeah. They were up there. I was just talking about it with someone because I saw it, I guess probably the week later at the Roxy. It was some kind of, it was part of the press conference or whatever. Okay, here it is. And I got a ticket somehow. Somebody knew that I just loved, because that's one of the reasons I do comedy, hands down. Those were the first records I had.
Oh, I've got my autograph record from that weekend.
God, so sick. Yeah. But to watch it, right?
Yeah.
Were they making some mistakes and stuff?
Yeah, that first night they were going through it. It was a little rough, a little patchy because it was their first time together on stage in what, almost 30 years or something like that. I think it was a 27-year hiatus.
Crazy.
And
none of us had ever seen them because they were long done by the time we're old enough to go see comedy.
Their movies. I remember watching the Corsican Brothers when I was a kid. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that one was so weird, right? God damn.
But it was Cheech and Chong, so you watched it.
Oh, any Cheech and Chong.
Yeah.
God damn, that's cool. What else you remember in there as far as massive headliners that you crazy special nights?
Let's see. So that was the biggest one ever.
That's cool.
I remember putting on Cheech's the hat and the sunglasses.
Oh shit!
Because they had him in the green room. They had their stuff in the green room, and I got in early and I opened. I was like, holy shit! And I put it on. I just started walking around.
Wow, that's so cool, man.
So that was really dope. Robin Williams popped in one night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he came down to do the San Diego Marathon.
Yeah,
he was a runner. He loved running, and then just one night he just showed up.
No shit.
Just showed up. Somebody was on stage. I forget what her name was, but she was bombing hard.
Yeah.
And and Robin just showed up and he, asked if he could, go on stage after the headline. And of course, Ryan's like, yeah, of course you can.
Absolutely.
And he's he was so respectful of the headliner and let the headliner do their spot. Didn't want to tell anybody that was going in there. And people were starting to leave because they weren't digging the headliner, so this sucks. And,
they're walking by. You're like, you better stick around.
Yeah. That's basically
stick around.
Yeah. So Ryan was doing a kind of crowd
recon.
Control.
Recon.
I wasn't working there at the time. I was just there.
Right.
That was right before I started working. I was doing open mics and stuff like that. But so everybody starts leaving, people are starting to leave, and Ryan's like, no, you don't want to leave, and just say, behind the bar, she's like, you don't want to leave right now, I'm sorry. We have a very special guest coming on as soon as she's done. She's only got 20 more minutes. They're like, no, we want to go home. And then they're like, look in the corner.
Yeah.
He's right there.
Yeah.
And they're like, holy shit, that is Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And so
that's a funny thing. All of a sudden you see a ton of people fighting for their seats again. Hey, I was sitting there.
That was mine.
No, you were 4 seats back. Why the headliner's on? This is my seat. The headliner's bombing. Go, God, they're fighting for their seats.
Yeah, I'm killing it.
I guess I'm doing okay.
So and then the other crazy. So he goes up there, he destroys it, hangs out, was one of the nicest human beings ever in the world. And then Lou ended up driving him back to where he was staying. So Lou got to drive him to his hotel so he could do the marathon the next day.
So cool.
Gabriel Iglesias likes to pop up at the La Jolla Store all the time. One of the nice human being.
Yeah.
Meets every person and takes a picture with every person and has a legitimate moment with each and every fan that wants to.
Yeah.
A legitimate, gives them, after he gets off stage, after being on stage for 4 fucking hours.
Yeah.
He gets off stage and gives everybody all his attention, all the energy, just to make sure that they have that experience that they want. Stanhope comes through all the time.
Great.
Just fucking packs it out.
One
show a night because he just fucking drinks the whole time.
He's great though.
Yeah, it's just fucking
shit,
killer.
That guy's a fucking monster.
Every time Whitney has a new special, she comes through the Comedy Store. Runs it a week before She films it, so
Yeah.
that's always fucking dope.
Yeah.
You know, Coco's been down there, Burr's been down there. Just, you know, it's just a slew of fucking headliners that just, you know, they've come up through that system. So
Fuck yeah, man. And Emily did a fantastic job, you know, booking that place.
Yeah.
And really getting some kind of cool focus. And then you were doing great stuff in there with your nights. And it really turned around about 5 years ago. It really got rocking again.
Well, when all the clubs opened up and everybody's like, you know, doing the same thing, like all the numbers went down. So we had to pivot.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, you have to change up a few things and alter your shows and, you know, it just, everything happened at the right time.
I always had great nights down there. I would do the El Cajon biker night.
Yep.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I did the
Shout out to Greg.
rock and roll comedy show down there.
Yeah.
That was great. And some good fucking stuff, man. Well, thanks for doing the podcast. It's great to talk to you. I miss you. I haven't seen anybody in there since, you know, right, I guess before Christmas when we did the Toys for Tots, right? Did I do that one, the last one?
Yeah, you did the last one.
Yeah, and then, I did do it because then I was going to headline in April. It's like, what a fucking nightmare. But thanks for doing the show, and you're up here in town.
Yeah.
You're going to do a spot.
The Jam in the Van.
Jam in the Van, man. So let's go get some tacos and tell everybody where they can find you. You got Instagram?
I got Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Mike Vinn Comic.
Yep. VINN.
VINN.
Yeah, Mike Vinn Comic. And follow him and tell a friend, you know. Thank you so much, bud.
No, thanks for having me, man.
I'll see you.